These blue log videos are coming out side by side. Side by side like I'm disobeying Sir Shigekuni. Side by side like I'm going on a recovery. Side by side like I'm about to take on that leopard Luigi. Side by side like I'm done, let's get started.
It's you and me, friendly superstar. Meguru Bachira has transformed. Now witness his debut. Touch.
You're amazing! There we go, egotistic dribbling style. In that case, I'll adjust to you. He come from. Fine then, I'll just have to get behind it. There it is, a whip cross. What the? Inspiration. Then hit them with a lightning fast link-up blade.
These distance, you've got nothing except weak spots.
Here we go, his first touch. This guy's built different. His acceleration is explosive. Bachira! Once he's in top gear, he doesn't slow down his dribbling, even with those huge strides.
You've got good foresight, but I'm fast.
He has a higher gear, so this is the child prodigy's speed.
You got scared of Loki's speed. You've just got tunnel vision from a lack of experience.
Take it away, baby. Got it. Watch it.
Soon.
Give me a high-speed back throw. Aryu's not in control of the airspace anymore. I haven't got any interest in mega bodies. Tokimitsu just got out-muscled. Not good. Speed, anticipation, kicking, jumping, physical strength.
In the third selection arc, blue team scores their first goal with link-up play. The Mbappe clone, Loki, scores for his team with a solo goal. Once again, the heroes use teamwork, the villains don't. Did you see that? Loki's ability is super speed, but we already had 3 characters who had speed: Chigiri, Santetsu, and Aryu. So now, the story introduces another character with speed, so his speed has to be even faster than those 3. That's how we end up with Speed of Sound Sonic over here in a U17 soccer match. But it doesn't stop there. Silva's better at controlling the airspace than Aryu, and Blake is stronger than Tokimitsu. In case you forgot, Kunigami and Barou started as the strongest, then Tokimitsu was stronger than both of them, and now Blake is stronger than all of them. That's called escalation. Most action stories slowly escalate in the level of action. That's cool. The problem is that Fraudlock's first trick was exaggeration, so when it escalates, it has to exaggerate even further to the point of disbelief. Kuroko exaggerated, but very slowly. In Season 1, Kagami could jump really high, Midorima could almost make every 3-pointer, Kisei could copy certain abilities, and Aomine was good at dribbling and shooting. The copy was a stretch, but we were still in the green. In Season 2, Midorima gets better at shooting 3s, then Kagami and Aomine both get the zone. This is the first time the characters do super speed nonsense like Lightning McQueen from Fraudlock. Episode 42 and Chapter 134 of Kuroko. I had a sneaking suspicion that the anime exaggerated it, so I went to the manga. There is only one panel in the manga where Aomine is moving at superhuman speeds and no one can react. The rest of the time, he and Kagami just look normal. What about Fraudlock? In 91, Loki's speed looks just as ridiculous as in the anime. Homeboy was making sonic booms on the pitch. Anyway, Kagami and Murasakibara both use the zone again at the end of Season 2, but this time there isn't any super speed. The craziest things Kagami does are a meteor jam and airwalk, both of which have been done in the NBA. That's 2 seasons, and the craziest thing we got was Aomine's super speed. Then Season 3 comes along and starts fooling around. Kisei's copy gets out of control. Some guy can steal your moves after copying them, and everything about Akashi's moveset is atrocious, abysmal. It took over 48 episodes to get there. Don't even get me started on the king, Haikyuu. That story barely exaggerates anything. The most exaggerated or unrealistic things are Hinata's jumping height, Kagami's pinpoint serving, and Kagami's falling toss. Everything else in the story is very mild, which allows slight moments of exaggeration to hit hard, like Oikawa's serve or Wakatoshi's spike. On top of that, Haikyuu doesn't throw all the cool moves at the wall at once. Season 1 doesn't have the cut shot, guest blocking, synchronized attack, boom jump, rebound, and some other things that are in the manga. Haikyuu's restraint allows it to drip feed new real concepts. Meanwhile in Fraudlock, Season 1 already gave us curling shots and passes, knuckleball, scissors, rainbow, chop, roulette, air elastico, daisy cutter pass, heel shot, and fake volley. For what? Not only are these high schoolers, but a lot of these aren't even common moves. A lot of these are moves that fancy freestylers and finesse passers / shooters do. So why are we getting so many of them? Instead of focusing on the fundamentals, he wants to focus on fancy impressive moves that aren't needed, which results in the story having to up the ante to ridiculous levels. I heard someone did a 5 fake volley in the manga. This is what that looks like in real life. What is that? What are we doing? The summary is that Kuroko takes his time escalating the physical abilities of players, and Haikyuu takes his time introducing new moves and rules. Fraudlock just dives in and escalates the players so high and introduces so many moves in just Season 1. The cost is that the story will have to keep escalating to ridiculous levels. Most of these bells and whistles don't have the max potential impact they could possibly have, and the more they escalate, the less impressive they get. Moves like the roulette, elastico, curling shot, and knuckleball could have been really epic moments, but their potential is squandered by the fact that Fraudlock overstimulates you with all these cool moves. If I wasn't a soccer fan, I don't think I would have registered how cool the curling shot or shooting a knuckleball is, because these wild things happen so quickly and often that it looks normal. But in volleyball, I can grasp how cool the cut shot is because in Season 1, no one did it. And then when Bokuto whips it out in Season 2, it gets the proper hype it deserves. I can grasp how cool a jump float serve is because it's built up slowly. Yamaguchi trains for it, fails the first time using it, and then finally scores a point with it. The sport of soccer or football has so much potential as a manga. It just needs to be put in the right hands, and those hands could have been Blue Lock, but it decided to be Fraud Lock. That's why it frustrates me so much. One more comparison. Catenaccio. This soccer manga barely has any physical achievements or cool soccer moves, yet is able to create exciting emotional game moments that far exceed Fraud Lock's due to its excellent character writing and theme writing. I covered this in my video on Catenaccio. Well-written characters and themes result in better matches compared to shallow special moves and superhuman abilities. Fraud Lock has average characters and garbage themes.
This is a stream. They're overpowering every single weapon we have. All those hard lessons we learned in Blue Lock, none of them are working. The way we are now, we don't have a chance of defeating these players. I stood at you.
Come on, that's no good. If you open your legs that easily, people are gonna start thinking you're in the sky. Don't be depressed.
Back to the story. The World 5 went up 4-1 with teamwork, eventually winning 5-1. So once again, the story misses its opportunity to have an ideological battle. It started with teamwork versus solo work and turned into teamwork versus teamwork. Every time. In the manga, which I read for comparison, the teamwork of the opposing team is more clear. I forgot to mention this before, but ego is the author's surrogate in this story. The audience surrogate, which is more common, is a character that is used as a stand-in for the audience and has things explained to them so the audience can understand. It's like the audience's avatar. So that means the author surrogate is a character that is the author's avatar. The author speaks through them. If ego is the author surrogate, that means that almost everything he says is what the author believes. I think that the swearing and disrespectfulness is an exaggeration, but I believe all the egoism stuff is actually what the author believes. Otherwise, he would have had ego been proven wrong by now. So when Ego criticizes the Japanese soccer team, it's because the author also feels that way about them. So if Ego's saying what the author wants to say, you can't argue that Ego is just lying about selfishness to motivate his players. The author actually believes that crap, but he's suffering from cognitive dissonance, or he just can't write a theme properly, which results in the characters blabbing about selfishness, yet working as a team. In conclusion, the artist's talents are being wasted. Fraud Lock lies about quotes and cherry picks quotes. It promotes a toxic philosophy that would never realistically work. It verbally promotes one theme, but the characters physically promote the complete opposite, which results in cognitive dissonance, which is incompetent writing. The camp makes illogical decisions, like permanently kicking out players for losing. The story simplifies the complex game of soccer down to weapons, scoring formulas, 1v1 formulas, chemical reactions, and superpowers. Instead of focusing on fundamental skills, team play, and positioning, the story would rather throw all the cool freestyle and finesse moves at us, which makes them unimpressive due to the volume and makes them decrease in impressiveness the more they appear. Instead of slowly escalating physical abilities, the story would rather exaggerate them on day one. And because of the lack of complexity and over-reliance on a simplified power system, the story is forced to escalate these physical abilities and flare moves in order to keep the audience hooked. But the consequence is that all the physical feats and fancy moves get less and less impressive and more ridiculous the more they escalate. The only thing this story gets right is its character development, which is decent. Fraud Lock is like fast food. It may be fun in the moment, but in the long run, it's unsatisfying, incompetent, and it makes you sick.